Okay, welcome everybody. This is Instant Cash Manifestations. I am Priestess LaMeel, LaMeel.com, and the LUXE and Light APOTHECARY. And this is it's live. And this is the masterclass for creating instant cash manifestations. So you're here probably because you want to release some self-sabotaging wealth beliefs. You want to activate your ability to manifest everything, including cash, very quickly. Or you're ready to manifest your next level, whether it's your next level house, car, lover, or life. And you were intrigued by the idea of waking up every day and receiving these life-enhancing opportunities. You want to, have the money. This is about the cash, but it's also about manifesting, because if you can manifest cash, you can manifest anything. If you can manifest anything else, you can manifest cash, right? You want to be able to buy what you want to buy solely based on the fact that you want it and not how much it costs or how to calculate when you're going to be able to buy it. You want to live that this and this life versus, this or this. So if you are ready to call in your quote unquote big desires, and you'll understand by the end of this why that I put that in quotes, get ready for the masterclass. So let me tell you what we're going to be covering today. This is going to be about a 45-minute class. I'm going to cover 6 segments. One is on manifesting, how to receive, right? So you need to know the process of manifesting. If you don't, you're screwed. And you may be getting them in the wrong order, and you just might not understand the complete process. We're going to talk about how to receive. So that says ho. Okay, I will be fixing that. But how do you know to ask? Do you know how to ask? How do you know what to ask for, or how to put it in the right context so that you can receive? So how are you receiving? How do you match the vibration? What is receiving, right? Because receiving is totally different than asking. Then we're going to talk about receiving it now. This is the instant part. So once you know how to manifest, once you know how to receive, how do you get it like right now? Not like 6 months from now. This is where the quantum field comes in, and you're learning to collapse time. Then what do you have to do daily? What is your daily work? So manifesting isn't sitting on the hilltop and meditating all day long and then shit just starts to materialize before your eyes. It doesn't quite work that way. There is what is called, and I should put that in quotes, quote unquote work, right? There are actions that have to be taken. And then the negative. Negative is everywhere. And people, a lot of my students, one of the main things that they deal with is that, like, I'm feeling so good, I'm so high vibe, and things are happening, but all these negative people are around me. And we're going to talk about what that really is, right? And then, are you doing it right? So once you understand the process and get started, how do you know that it's coming? How do you know that this is what you're doing correctly, and what you're wanting is coming in? So we're going to start this class. And before I go any further, I want to introduce myself. I am Priestess LaMeel. I'm a spiritual wealth priestess and life coach, and I support some of the most extraordinary, magical women step into their divine feminine energy and live their desires from the goddess frequency. I'm also a naturopathic health practitioner, spiritual intuitive healer, published author, and course creator for those of you that are new to me. So let me show you what some of my students have said. And these are the first round of students, because I work with students when I'm doing a live training, right? In small groups. So the real deal, that really stuck out, because she says basically the process works and it's amazing. And her business grew beyond what her first intention was in less than 8 weeks. So she was completely floored by her results. And one of the things that she kept saying throughout the training was that this is real. This is real. Like, she felt like it was, she was living in a fairy tale. Like, she didn't understand what was going on. She didn't believe, I should say, that it could happen the way that it was happening. Like, she was like, I can't believe this. Like, everything to her was unreal. Maggie was like, oh, you're such a godsend. She was such a sweetheart. She had a very specific time frame when she started working with me and needed to have a house by a certain day. And she did the work. She put in the effort. She did the practices every day. And her house came early with a lot of bonuses and a lot of other amazing, amazing things. Inspirational, and this is important because when you work with me, you understand the difference between being inspired and being motivated, right? And so the fact that Alice felt that I was so inspirational, and she was really gently guided on a regular basis. One of the benefits of working with me is that you do have access to me, and we are working on real manifestations, real things that you want right now today. And so when you're in it and the shit hits the fan, having somebody that you can call or reach out to who can walk you through the steps makes all the difference in the world when you're trying to apply this and other techniques like this to the real world, right? To a real manifestation. It is one thing to take a course and get the concept, be motivated, and then when you start doing it, the shit just falls flat, right? So being able to be in it and be like, this is happening, I know the process, but I'm struggling, and be able to have someone reach their hand out and support you and walk you through it, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but over and over again until you can do it on your own. It's like holding the baby's hand when they're learning to walk, right? You're there for them until they can get it on their own, and then when they start doing it, then you're just encouraging them instead of helping them. And that's really what working with me is like. So I got into manifesting and coaching years ago. I've been doing this for about a decade now, and I changed my life. And why, even though I have these other credentials, why my process works, right? I'm going to tell you why my process works and why this is something that you really want to take seriously, is because not only have I manifested house after house after house, 7,000, 5,000, 6,000 square feet, whatever. I went from living in a hotel to, living in what someone would call a mansion, or what qualifies as a mansion. But, I went from having shitty credit to having almost, 800 credit score, to 800 credit scores. I was manifesting left and right and left and right. The thing about it is that I also fucked it up. So, yes, I did it. And then I got there and I didn't expand to maintain it, and I fucked it up, and I went back to 0. And then I did it again, and then I did it again, until I figured out what was needed to not just get there, but to get there and maintain it. And not just get there over my lifetime, but get there in the shortest period of time ever, right? So in my doing it and fucking it up and doing it and fucking it up. And here's the other truth about what I'm saying, because I'm saying fucking it up in a humorous way, is that you can't get it wrong, right? Everything is about the experience, and I couldn't be here with this information for you if I didn't have it and then not have it, and then I had it and then I didn't have it, and then I had it and I didn't have it, because I learned so much in the process, which makes me so much better equipped to help you and support you, because I understand and I've been there. Right? So I learned how to get there quickly, and then I learned how to keep it. And those are things that make a difference, because if you get it and you lose it, what the fuck is the point, right? So now that you know who I am and what we're covering, let's jump right in. And I want to talk about, and so I have a lot going on, and in the house and in the background right now. So if you hear a few sounds and what have you, excuse that, because we've got some stuff being moved and what have you, which is also why I'm not on screen today, which I usually am if you follow me on other platforms. So I want to jump right into the 5 mistakes in manifesting. And what I want you to do right now is, if you don't have a piece of paper, a journal, a drink, you know, get those. You're gonna want to take notes. If you are not part of my Patreon group at the mystical goddess level, you won't receive notes. I'm not providing the notes, but those who are on the Patreon, our Patreon members, they will get notes from this particular training. Okay? And we're working on a time schedule here in terms of getting you as much information in the shortest period of time, because I don't like to drag shit out. So, the 5 manifesting mistakes, right? These are the most common mistakes. The first one I want you to understand is going big when you're new is a mistake, right? I have had people come to me and like, they don't have a house of their own. They don't have a car of their own. They're not happy with their current living situation by any means. They want to be self-employed, but they have jobs, like whatever. And when I ask, okay, what you're coming in to work with me, what are we manifesting over our time together? Oh, I want to make, I want to be a millionaire, or I want to make $100,000 a month, or I want to, but you haven't mastered having a house and maintaining it. You haven't mastered sustaining a business consistently for any number of months, right? You haven't done the things. So if you show up in a house with a spiral staircase, you don't get to the top of the staircase by taking one big ass step to the top. That's not how we grow. That's not the process of growth. You go step by step by step by step. And in doing that with manifesting, it builds your confidence. I don't care if you start with a cup of coffee, or you start with $100, or what you do. To say, well, I've made this much before, that's great. But if you have made a certain amount of money before in a job, but you've never made it self-employed, it's not the same frequency. You start small. You start with the smallest thing. Sometimes our big desires can be broken down into steps, and that is the most ideal situation. So that's what you want to do. Mistake number 2, you focus on the negative. And we're going to talk more about negative in a little bit, but you focus on all the negative people, all the negative shit, all the and you talk about it, and you keep it activated, and you cannot get to where you want to be from the negative. Mistake number 3, you have a lack of belief. You want it, you know it's possible, but you don't believe you can have it. You don't believe you can do it in a certain amount of time. Those types of things will keep you, that mindset, the thought process will keep you from manifesting. It will hinder you. It will create blocks. Number 4, you have no connection. How are you manifesting with no spiritual connection to God, to source, to, I don't know what else what you call it, but the lack of realization that we are all connected, right? That we are all energy. That when you are manifesting and you set your intention, right? Your higher self, source, God, will move people, places, and things to align so that you can get what you want. But if you don't feel connected to anything, how can you believe that you are creating your own life, how can you believe that something bigger than you is conspiring to support you? You have to have a spiritual connection. If you don't, get off now. And number 5 is that you lack joy. You're not happy in the process. You're not happy with where you are. You just lack the joy. You don't have the joy for where you're going and what you're manifesting, because you cannot get to your desire from the lower emotional frequencies. So you have to have a higher frequency, and the higher frequencies are happier, satisfied, love. They are higher frequencies. And if you can't move out of the lower end of the emotional scale, you can't manifest. There will be small things that you can manifest because you lack resistance, because you don't believe. But it will not be consistent. It will not be scalable. It will not be something that you can do on command. Now, if you are here and you're watching and you don't have any spiritual connection and you're not interested in developing it, if you are 100% skeptic and you're looking for, you know, me to pull a rabbit out of the hat, like, this is not for you. This is not what we're talking about. This is not what I'm teaching. And so learning to manifest cash instantly is not for you. If you think that you can turn this into a scam, you can't. It's not for you. Moving on, we're going to go into the first subject, which is about the steps and how manifesting works. So a lot of you are aware of the law of attraction, and so what I have to say about that. And actually, there is one thing I do want to introduce before we get into the 6 stages, the six levels of instantly manifesting cash or anything else. If you stay till the end, I'm going to tell you about an amazing program. There is no obligation to join, but right now it is like well over 90% off. And of course, that's why we do education, right? To invite you and to give you an opportunity. And so I am giving you this opportunity at the end. And if you feel called, if you feel guided, please join. If not, that is okay too, because I'm about to give you some information that's going to help you manifest regardless. So, step 1, we ask. We ask without really asking. Our emotions, our experiences cause us to ask for what we want. Step 2, what you want is provided to you, right? It's always given. Step 3 is that you have to align with what you want. It's the receiving. You put yourself in the receiving place. Step 4 is that you get really, really good at being in the receiving mode, living in the receiving mode. Step 5, negative or contrast knocks you out of the receiving mode. You recognize it, you enjoy it, and then you get back into alignment, and then you're back at 3, which is the receiving mode, and then you move into living in that receiving mode, and then contrast shows up, knocks you out of alignment. So the key that I want you to get here in the idea of manifesting is that you don't always stay in alignment. You want to have contrast. Contrast is what allows us to determine what we want and to get clearer and more specific. Okay? So part of the manifesting process is to experience contrast and to come out of alignment. Those are the keys for manifesting. It is part of the process to experience contrast and come out of alignment. You stay in the manifesting cycle if you acknowledge it and then recalibrate. That's it. You acknowledge it and recalibrate. That is your manifesting process. So, how do you receive? Which is the quote-unquote work of manifesting for us. Number one, you have to be in a place where you are inspired. You have to be living at and expressing. And when I say living, over time, you will spend more and more time at a higher frequency. However, you need to be at higher frequencies. And when you're not, the work is gently calibrating yourself to get to a higher frequency. So you need to be in higher frequencies. Higher frequencies are the top end of the emotional guidance scale. Okay? So if you're, and even when you're in the upper level, you should be looking to calibrate to the next level up, so that living at the higher frequencies becomes second nature, right? It's what you do, and it's how you are the majority of the time. None of us are going to ever be there all of the time. But you receive from being at the higher frequencies of the emotional guidance scale. It doesn't matter what got you there. You could be happy about the cat, the dog, the baby, the whatever. You could be happy about having chocolate and time alone. Anything that gets you into the higher frequencies are where is the energy level, is the frequency of which you are now receiving. Asking for something and receiving something are two completely different things. So to be receiving, you need to be happy. You need to be satisfied. You need to be not so much grateful, but thankful, right? You need to be appreciative. And when you're in those realms, you are in the receiving mode. That is the simple explanation. It is different getting there, I do know, and I go into great detail about that in my program, and we spend 2 weeks on this or more in the program, right? This is where the real work is, and this is where my clients apply what they learn and how to receive to their actual intentions, because setting an intention is instant. Your intentions are already there. Source already knows what you want and knows what's best for you. So we work here a lot. Once you understand, right, which I'm sure you all do, being at the higher frequency, but you're practicing it. You're practicing being at the higher frequency. You can collapse time and receive it now. The key in collapsing time and having instant manifestations is perfect alignment. Perfect alignment is essentially being a vibrational match, or being on the same frequency of that of which you are asking for. That is the reason why we take baby steps in manifesting. Because you want to be a millionaire, but you don't know what that frequency is. Because you've never lived there, you've never been there, so you need to cultivate the frequency, understand it, and then start to cultivate it and develop it within you. As soon as you are a match for it, it will show up. So if it takes you 24 hours to become a match to it, you can have it in 24 hours. If it takes you 5 minutes to become a match for it, you can have it in 5 minutes. And there are a lot of people, right, and a lot of my students who can manifest in minutes, not even hours, but minutes. And I was having probably one of the worst days, I'll say, at the time, I thought it was one of the worst weeks of my life, right? And yet, throughout that week, I had like 3 or 4 instant manifestations, meaning they didn't even take 15 minutes. I applied my practice, and in those cases, I was journaling, and I told the story the way I wanted it to be. I closed the book, I moved on, and then I received exactly, within minutes, I got the notification that I had received exactly what I asked for. And it came exactly the way I wrote it. I have manifested houses exactly the way that it's been written. Houses usually take, 1 or 2 weeks to 30 days. But it happens. Why? Because there's no resistance, and because I become a vibrational match to what I'm asking for. Today, if you can become a vibrational match, and the only way that you can become a vibrational match is without resistance. You can't match it and have resistance, right? Those are 2 different frequencies. Resistance, contrast, negative is different than being in the receiving mode and in the frequency of receiving. So to receive it now, you need to be a match with no resistance. And people and students and friends and everyone that I've taught these techniques to, right, on how to get to the higher frequencies on the emotional vibrational scale, has experienced instant manifestations. I have experienced cash constantly. I have experienced like situations working out. And typically that's where I start with my students, situations working out, because we are constantly telling the story in our mind the way we don't want it to be, and we need to be telling it the way that we want it to be, as if it is. Those are keys that you should be writing down. Tell it like you want it to be. Most of the negative that we are experiencing is coming from us, but that's coming up. So what is your daily work? Your daily work is doing whatever it takes to raise your energetic vibration, to get to the top half of the emotional vibrational scale. That is your quote-unquote work. What is going to get me there? How can I feel better than I feel right now? If you're going to do rampages of appreciation, if you're going to go for walks, and I'm going to tell you the #1 way to get there before I move on, and it is meditation. Meditate for 15 to 20 minutes a day. That's it. Nothing else, because you're here to experience your manifestations and not be in a meditative, monk state the majority of your life experience. You're also not supposed to be in a desperate, wanting, uncomfortable, unhappy state for most of your human experience. For any of your human experience, it is supposed to feel good. It is supposed to be fun. Your work is understanding you and what you need and how to get to the next level of feeling good. How do you get to the next level of feeling good? How can I feel better? This is great. I like this. How do you milk situations? That's your work. We got 2 more sections here. The negative. You need contrast, because that's how you fine tune, right? So I want a relationship, and you get a relationship and he's not very fun, he's not very happy, I don't know, maybe he kind of smells, right? Okay, so now I want a relationship with someone who's happy. I want a relationship with someone who has good hygiene. Then you get him, and maybe he doesn't have a job. That's your contrast. Oh, no. I want a relationship with someone that smells good and that is happy and that works. And then you get somebody who works a lot and hates their job, and then it's like, nope. So do you see how the contrast helps you? It is part of the manifesting process. It is how you manifest everything. It is how you are manifesting your life, how you get clarity, how you fine tune. You want the negative. And let's talk about negative from other people. There is no assertion. There is no assertion. There is no assertion. What does that mean? That means that every single thing that you experience that is negative, you are a vibrational match for. And that is going to be hard to hear. It is hard to swallow. I mean, and some shitty shit has happened to me in my life that, you know, if you have not followed me on YouTube, I wouldn't even encourage you to go look for it, because there's no need in magnifying it. But the point is, we've all been through some shitty shit. And the problem is that at that time, we were a vibrational match. Does it mean you deserved it? No. But you were a vibrational match for the foolishness and the fuckery that goes on. Baby daddy, baby mama, family, lover, whatever, best friend, kids, you're a vibrational match to it. So how do you get rid of the negative that you experience in other people? You calibrate to the higher levels of the emotional vibrational scale. You change. Then it's like, I had an experience where someone that I love dearly drives me absolutely insane. And I was telling a girlfriend, and she was like, you just need to stay away from that person. And yeah. But here's the truth. I stopped blaming this person because I understood this process. And the more that I just started playing with it, right? If I'm in a better mood and I am viewing myself from the eyes of source, which is really just from a place of love, guess what? Everybody around me does as well. When I am doing a lot of self-love work and I'm loving on myself and I'm very happy and I'm very content and I'm very satisfied, guess what? Guess what? So is everybody else around me. They're not changing. I'm changing. My vibration is increasing. And so either the people around me are going to stay around because they are a vibrational match to what I'm offering, or they disappear. We can't connect. When you can't connect with somebody, you want to spend time with them and you don't know what's going on, understand that you guys are on two different frequencies. Now you have to determine whether you're the one on the low frequency or they're the one on the low frequency. And the truth is, it doesn't even matter if you're always working on your frequency, right? Just work on your frequency, and the people around you will change, and they will support you, and they will do the things that you want them to do. So you need the negative. Now, how do you know when you're applying all of these things that you're doing it right and that your manifestation is coming? It's the feeling. I don't know if you've recognized that there has been a theme throughout this entire training, and it's about the emotional scale. And I should have had a picture up for you. But it is about the vibrational emotional scale, right? And the very first, so when you are manifesting cash, and when you are manifesting anything else, the very first manifestation, there's always a pre-manifestation, and that is how you feel. How you feel changes, that's how you know you're doing it right and the money is coming. So let's go through this. You want $1,000, right? You're very clear about it, and you don't care how it's coming, because that's not your work. Your work is just, this is what I want, and I'm very clear about it, and I know what I'm going to do with it. So how do I get in the receiving mode? You get happy. I'm happy. And even if your financial situation is causing you to need this $1,000, don't try to get happy about the $1,000. Try to get happy about other stuff. Well, okay, so do you have a good love life? Focus on that. Are you and your kids in great relationships? Focus on that. If you love your job, focus on that. If you love your house, focus on that. If you are, loving something that you're doing, if you have a passion, focus on that. Those things will get you into the proper frequency to receive. You don't have to get happy about the money. You don't have to think about the money. You need to be clear about what you want, right? How much money do I want? You can, and within that, there's always going to be a time frame, right? The unspoken or spoken. And then you get into the receiving of it. That's your work. And you do that consistently. How you know it's coming and it's about to manifest is that you genuinely feel different. You feel better. You are at a higher frequency. Okay? As soon as you are, the money will show. It's that simple. Now, I say it's that simple, but the process is that simple. What is that simple is the steps and understanding the steps. What's not so simple is applying them to your daily life, to where you are able to create it instantly, consistently. Oh. Look in the chair. What isn't easy is applying it in real time when you are practiced to do otherwise. Right? We are practiced into the negative. We are practiced into believing that people are doing things to us. We are practiced in believing that there is a such thing as assertion. So we want other people to change instead of us. We are practiced into telling what we don't want instead of telling what we do want. And so it is difficult, if you are new, to have instant manifestations, cash or otherwise, if you don't have all of the tools and the support to get practiced out of it. So that leads me to this amazing offer and this new program that I'm doing, that I'm only doing for 22 magical women, that I'm going to start, that starts this month in December. And if you're seeing this after December, the program will be opened, but it'll have slightly different details. So, Quantum Manifesting Goddess. The idea of quantum manifesting is collapsing the time on your manifestations. Like I said, if you're ready to call in those big things, the things that you feel are big right now, the house, the car, the money, you need to get practiced into receiving. You need to get practiced into collapsing time. You need to get practiced into your daily work, and you need to clean up your frequency, and you need to strengthen your focus. Those are things that need to be done, and those are the things that you learn in the Quantum Manifesting Goddess program. So let me explain to you what is included, right? We go way in depth. It is a 12-week program. So we spend 2 weeks on each subject, and we discuss the manifesting process. And I explained it very briefly, but you need to understand that you're creating your reality and how you're creating your reality. You need to understand your part in each of the steps in the manifesting process. And you need to know that you are the creator and get connected. And that's what we do for the first 2 weeks. The next 2 weeks is about the receiving frequency, right? And you're becoming an energetic match to what you want. You're going to learn how to turn your vibration into things using the emotional scale. And that's really what I was referring to. Because there's a process to there is a process to scaling and moving up that scale and getting better at it and receiving it, right? Living in the receiving mode, not all the time, but the majority of the time. Knowing how to get back in when you've gotten out. Those are all things that we work on. And it is in this module, which is technically week 3, that we start applying the receiving frequency to 3 of the manifestations that you are trying to materialize. From this point on, we are working specifically with your intentions of what you personally are trying to manifest. So every week there is a live Zoom training with me. You are then given access to recorded trainings on the subject for that week. You have access to me via Voxer, and I also do a live Q&A to answer questions. And so most of those questions are always specific to that student and their manifestations, because they help other students. The techniques work regardless of what you're trying to manifest, right? And the questions help. The questions help everything come together. So module 3, we talk about your work in this process, like what's your job, and processes to increase your focus, applying the processes to your personal intention. So we're deep in it at that point. It's all about you and learning, and you applying what you've learned the previous 2 weeks in the receiving frequency. Because sometimes if you get really good at that, you don't need to do the extra, right? What's the extra? Activating the quantum frequency. Sometimes you get really good and people naturally jump into the quantum frequency. But if you do not, then we spend 2 weeks and we activate the quantum frequency for you and within you. And I teach you how to manifest from that quantum field, collapse time on your manifestations, because when you start this, like most people, I'm sure you're going to believe that, you know, something big like a house takes longer than like a cup of coffee. And I'm going to show you how that's not necessarily the case if you are operating from a quantum field, and how to live what is in your vortex, really. And that vortex is really just that energetic place where everything that you have asked for is stored. So you're not really having to do anything but tap into the vortex and allow the stuff that you've been asking for years and years and years and years to start flowing down from the vortex right into your reality. Module 5 is about loving the contrast, understanding what contrast is, understanding why you should love it, and that there is no assertion. And I talked about that a little bit today. And this is a real heavy hitter. It's an impactor, because anybody who is not getting massive movement, everybody manifests. There's nobody that goes through manifesting anything with me and not manifest, right? But some people get stuck because they're not allowing. And that usually has to do with some personal blocks. So when we get into loving the contrast, more importantly, that there is no assertion, and you start to understand that you are the cause, and you learn how to see that you were the cause, and you learn how to see that you don't have to justify or explain or apologize or be worthy, when those things start breaking down, massive shifts happen. Anything that has not manifest or materialized by this module happens during this module. And in number 6, module 6 is embodiment. So it's living from your natural magnetism and having daily manifestations and understanding that the better it gets, and that becomes your life mantra, right? The better it gets, the better it gets. It gets to be good. It gets to be good all the time. The better it gets, the better it gets. It's good every day. So that is what this particular program is about, right? And I know that it works. And you have access to me on Voxer, you get recorded trainings, and you get the live trainings. That's what all of this is about. It's like learning to manifest instantly. Instantly. You can. And in some cases, it may not be, I think it, and it happens because we have the buffer of time here in this reality. So, but there still is instant. Like I explained to you, I have written something, closed the book, got back on the computer, and that manifestation materialized. It wasn't 5 minutes. There was still a buffer of time. There was 5 minutes. I have said, gotten up in the morning and go, oh, I would love to get a coffee and some Chipotle. One kid comes through with coffee, like, hey, Ma, we went and got coffee while you were asleep. Here's your coffee. It was there already. Didn't even know. Another kid goes, hey, we're ordering Chipotle. You want anything? My lunch is on the way. Within the first hour of waking up, right? You still have the buffer of time. One time I had to move. And I was like, I need a new house. I need one this size. I need this, and this. I need one in this area. And from the day I said it to the day I had keys and we were physically in the house was 30 exact days. And some people do that because they have the money. At the time, I didn't have the money. I didn't have no monies. Okay? But it still happened in 30 days. As if I had millions of dollars. So there's the buffer of time because I needed all the money to show up. I needed all the circumstances and the house and everything. I hadn't even looked at houses. I had a situation with my kid. I needed to be closer and I fucking moved. And everything lined up in that time. So your program investment. Right now there are only 22 spaces available at this current premium rate. And so once all these spaces are full, the program will close and it won't reopen again until next year. Probably in January. No, February. Late January, early February will open and we'll start probably just after Valentine's Day. So our regular price, if you see over here, the students that have already taken this program paid $2,222.22. That is the regular exclusive cost. And that is in full. It is a little bit more if you do payment plans, but that is an option. Right now, for the first 22 people, or for only 22 people who join before this year is out, as long as there are spaces available, you can get into this 12-week program for $222.22. It is massive, but really, this is my holiday special. I didn't do a lot of Black Friday, Cyber stuff, and I didn't want to bombard people with so many options and so many sales going on. This is something that is designed to change your life. This is a program and a lessons and transformations that are life-changing and life-sustaining. When you learn how to do this, no one can take it away from you. Even if you go through the ups and downs, like I did. You manifest big, you lose it. You manifest great credit score, you lose it. I learned some things even about manifesting an awesome credit score, is that having a big credit score is not an award or a badge to wear. Having a good credit score is something you use to leverage your expansion, not to wear it like a badge. If you're not using your good credit score to expand your life and create opportunities for yourself, it is not serving you. But I had to create it and lose it and create it and lose it before I understood it. It is the same thing with manifesting, and manifesting instantly and manifesting big. You've got to learn how to manifest it and sustain it, and then scale it and make it part of who you are. So no matter what is going on, you can understand this is contrast, and I don't think I want this. Instead, I want X, Y, and Z. Change your focus and manifest it instantly. And that's what you're there for, is this. So, for the first 22 students, this course, normally $2,000, where you get training. So this is 12 weeks. You get 12 live trainings. You get more than 12 recorded trainings. You get workbooks, and you get access to my Money Madam course as well. And you get access to me via Voxer once you've started the program and gone through the initiation, so that I can help you and support you, and my team can support you while you are applying what you're learning to your actual intentions. So I do have a 100% satisfaction guarantee on this program. A couple of things from other students. It works like magic. The process that Priestess LaMeel teaches works like magic. I know it's hard to believe, but just do it. Like, she was just all in and was like, I don't know what's going to happen. I love your energy. I just want to be here. And then she bought and actually sent me a wand and was like, this is like magic. It's like waving a wand and stuff happens. And you just have to know it's coming, and then it comes the next day or 2 days later or later that evening. It just keeps coming when you are doing this. Tanya said it was life-changing for her. And Tammy was like, forever in my corner. She didn't feel like she had a big, Tammy, didn't feel like she had a connection with Source. She didn't really understand that. And so now she knows she's not alone. She will never be alone. Right? And that Source is always working with her to conspire and with her, so that her dreams and intentions and ideas are manifested. So I'm going to go through these frequently asked questions. When does this course start? So if you're watching this, the lives for the 2021 session start December 18th. However, they will be recorded. So if you ever miss a live, it is recorded, it is put into the course, and if you know you're going to miss it, you have the opportunity to submit questions so that it can be addressed during the live, and then when you watch it, your answer will be there. So how do you get access? You get access via your computer or smartphone by logging into the LaMeel.com site. So if you miss a live, like I said, it is recorded for you and placed in the course material. So, do you give refunds? Yes, I do. But you must watch and attend all of the course videos and lives. And you must complete all of the workbooks, the worksheets, the meditations, and the activations. And you must have taken the actions recommended and applied them to your life, right? And then if you're having issues, you need to be willing to get on the phone with me. Let me know what the problem is or what issues you're having. And then we'll see if myself or one of my support goddesses can help you. If not, you can receive a refund. So is there a payment plan? Yes, there's a payment plan on the regular rate. So there's 6 biweekly payments of $377. If you want to get into the program right now at the premium rate of the $222, you can make 2 payments, right? One, your deposit to hold your space, which is non-refundable, is $133, and then your balance would have to be paid before on December 28th, right, through an auto payment, which means we'll automatically deduct that after Christmas. So what if you're struggling? If you're struggling, you can receive support by messaging me in our Voxer group, by sending me a direct message through the course, asking questions in the Facebook group, or you can send messages to our text line, and someone there will direct you on where you need to go, where you need to be, or even set an appointment up for you to talk to me so we can get you into satisfaction out of struggling. So what if I have not manifested my intentions at the end of 6 weeks or 12 weeks or what have you? You have ongoing support. That is, first of all, let me just say, by 6 weeks in, everybody has manifested something. Okay, not all 3 things may have materialized at 6 weeks, but and that's really, I get asked that because it's halfway through. Everything doesn't materialize at that point, but something always has. If it has not, we have a lot of support set up for you. And we have a lot of applications and processes that you can use to help break you through. Okay, so it's not likely that you are not going to or have something manifested by the end of 6 weeks, and definitely not by the end of 12 weeks. I have had over 200 students go through the Quantum Goddess program on different levels, and they've all manifested their intentions that we started with. Some were not complete, but we work with 3, and every student has at least 2 out of those 3 fully materialized during the 12 weeks, and then some still have some things in the works, but things are lining up, and it's very clear to them that it's coming by the end of the week 12. So, has not been an issue before. It will not be an issue for you. Again, if you are interested and you feel called and you are ready to change your life, to manifest your big dreams, manifesting cash, you can definitely use the information that I gave you today and manifest something tomorrow. But if you don't want to go it alone, join me in the Quantum Goddess program, and we can start manifesting together. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post them down below, whether you're seeing this on YouTube or in the Facebook group, and I will answer all questions personally, and we will make edits on the post once all 22 spaces are filled for the year, and put a link in where you can get on a wait list for when it reopens next year. Thank you so much for being here. Again, if you have questions, please ask the questions. If you have questions about the instant manifesting process that I shared in the beginning of this masterclass, by all means, ask away. I'm here to answer because, again, you can do it with the information that I've given. It may not be as easy. There may be more trial and error. I'm here to eliminate the trial and error because I've already been through it. But I'm here for you. So hopefully I will be hearing from you soon. And I will put the link to this page below the video so that you can access it and read the details for yourself.